Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to a brand new video on Prize Picks, and we're going to talk about some correlation plays as well as the NFL because we got a big NFL Sunday, guys. This NFL Sunday means a lot for a lot of people's teams, and I'm sure it means a lot for y'all's fantasy teams too. I know both of mine are already in the playoffs, but hopefully you guys are in that situation too. It's always fun to sweat out some fantasy football on week 14. First up, do me a solid, drop a like on this video. Literally takes you 2 seconds, completely free, so go ahead and do that. Let's try to get to 10 likes in this one. I know we're a small channel, guys, but I'm telling you right now, I'm speaking to you directly. In the next 3 months, this channel is going to go absolutely clear. And I usually don't say this, and the reason I'm saying this is because I have just discovered one of the best methods to profit on Prize Picks and Underdog out there. It is absolutely ridiculous how replicatable this is, and we got NFL playoffs coming up. We got a little bit of college football playoff coming up, and we're going to hammer down on esports. The thing is, a lot of people don't know about this strategy, so I believe I'm going to be one of the first people to go ahead and talk about this, and we're going to get into it real quick, but I'm just going to say it right out there, guys. Subscribe to the channel, follow every single day. You will watch, as right now I'm asking for 10 likes. In about 3 months, things are going to be different, guys. It's absolutely going to go clear because PrizePicks isn't ready for this. Like, straight up, PrizePicks is not ready for this. And the best part about it is this thing is not going to get shut down or banned or anything like that like previous strategies are, because PrizePicks is just not going to know, right? Like, there's not that many people that are going to be taking esports plays. And I'll give you a perfect example, right? We used to do this back in 2023. We were hammering down correlation plays. You take 2 quarterbacks and you take their top 2 receivers, and we would get $20 would turn this into $200. This was a ridiculous broken system on PrizePicks, and we hammered it for an entire season. But it wasn't just me who was talking about it. It was literally like, I would say 30% of YouTubers knew this was a thing and they were talking about it. Not just YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, everybody was talking about it. So it used to pay 10x. Literally took the PrizePicks, I guess, like a few months to a year, and they banned it. Not banned it, but they nerfed it, right? This was used to be 10x payout. Now it's 5.5, right? But the good thing is, this strategy that I just found is not that. It is literally just I can't say the entire thing right now. It'll take me too long to explain because we're trying to focus on Sunday plays. But the point is, it's not using common sports, right? It's using things that are esports, that are basically video games. If you don't know what esports is, that's what it is. And it's where not a lot of people are looking, and that's where you can find value. Pretty much that's the case in anything in life. If you're looking where people aren't, there's a good chance there might actually be quite a bit of value there, and a lot of other people are not going to be locked into it. That being said, there is still profit to be made on this specific NFL Sunday. So let's get right into it and let's hit some correlated plays. So we know the best way to correlate plays is simple. It's with passing yards and receiving yards. So first up, we're going over to one of our favorite duos right here, which is Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. Now, if we try to take Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase over just like this, it's going to heavily payout shift this down to 2.5 or 2.25x, excuse me. So one thing that you could do is pivot and take him over on longest reception. Longest reception is actually very correlated with receiving yards. So basically, we know Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, passing yards, receiving yards, that's a great correlated stack, right? Because when Joe Burrow goes over on his yards, there's a great chance Jamar Chase is going to go over on his yards. We also know that Jamar Chase on yards is very correlated with Jamar Chase on the longest reception, which means we can then skip that middle play of receiving yards and just take Joe Burrow passing yards, Jamar Chase longest reception, and it's almost like getting the same thing for basically just as good, 2.5x, right? And one important thing, I can't stress this enough, guys, is you've got to play the right slip types on PrizePicks. I'm going to make a whole video about this in the coming weeks, just explaining exactly which slip types are the best. But there are 2 slip types that are going to make you money on PrizePicks. And if you are not playing either of those, if you're not really playing any, if that's not the only thing that you're playing, let me put it that way. If that's not the only thing that you're playing, you're going to lose money, right? And those 2 slip types are 3-man powers and 4-man powers. You could go for 5 and 6-man flexes, but a lot of people don't want to do that because they don't have enough volume to do that, right? So I'm going to keep it simple. You're losing money unless you're taking 3-man powers and 4-man powers on PrizePicks. So we're going to build out a 3-man power right here with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and we're hopping over to one of my favorite plays right here, favorite plays of the day. Whoops, literally just clicked on the wrong game. Here we go. Because we're hopping down over to Sunday Night Football, I literally just couldn't find it, but it is right here. It's Kansas City versus Houston. And the big story here is that the Chiefs badly need this, right? If we look at the Chiefs right now, I mean, they're 6-6, third in their division. Coming off a loss to the Cowboys, barely made it over the line against the Colts, then a loss to the Broncos before that, and a loss to the Bills, right? So in the last 4 games, they've lost 3 of them. And the only time they won was in overtime against an Indy team that's actually looking, not as good as we thought they were at the beginning of the season. Now you're going up against the Texans, who, the story with the Texans is that their defense is so locked down, right? Their passing defense is insane. They held Daniel Jones to just over 200 yards. Josh Allen was the only quarterback to go for 250 against them. Cam Ward did not hit 200 yards. Trevor Lawrence didn't even hit 160. Bo Nix didn't hit 180. All of these quarterbacks severely underperforming. Mac Jones, his line this game was up at 240. I told you all to take the under. He hit at 193. Right? So now you've got Patrick Mahomes. And the question is, can Patrick Mahomes beat this defense when nobody else has so far? And the simple answer to that is 100% he can, guys. 100% Patrick Mahomes can. If there was ever a player to, absolutely dominate a defense that looks unstoppable, it's Patrick Mahomes, right? We've seen Josh Allen, another quarterback who plays very similar to Patrick Mahomes. I don't care, hate him or love him. Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes oftentimes look like they play the same brand of football, right? Everybody knows this. Josh Allen, I guess, runs a little bit more, but Pat has been running quite a bit in the last couple of years. So I don't know. I think they're very similar players. You got Josh at 253 yards, Pat 236, right? And the good thing about this one is that the Chiefs, like in past years, right? Maybe not last year, but basically in this Chiefs dynasty, what has been the last 5 or 6 years, we've been a little bit, wary about taking Mahomes on the over for passing yards because oftentimes the Chiefs are just winning games by that much that they don't have to pass the ball, right? If they are dominating by that much and it's the third quarter and Patrick Mahomes has 220 yards and they're up by 20 points, they're probably just going to run the ball for the rest of the game, right? That, thankfully, is not the case because the Chiefs are not that good this year, right? They're 6-6. The Texans are going to keep this one close, and the Texans are fighting for a spot right here, guys. They just beat the Colts. They've got the Colts in the last week as well. And if we look at the standings right here, I'll show you guys. The Texans are 7-5, sitting right behind the Jags, right behind the Colts. It's absolutely nuts how strong this AFC South division is because, honestly, I'm just going to say it. I thought this was the worst division coming into this year. And I thought this was the worst division last year and the year before that. And I was proven right 2 years in a row. This year, things have been absolutely changing, right? Titans are still pretty bad. But Texans, Colts, Jags are all right up there. Point being, the Texans, a win here would be absolutely huge. And it's one that they actually can win, right? You look at this before the season and you think that's probably a loss. Maybe, got to move on after that. No, they could win this game because Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are not looking that great, right? Anyways, looking back at the slip, you got Joe Burrow, you got Jamar Chase, right? This is a great 2-man stack. And then you've got Pat Mahomes. So this is paying out at a 5x, which is actually pretty good. Usually it's 6x payout, but because we're using correlation, and the important thing is here, a correlation that PrizePicks can track, they're going to nerf the payout a little bit, right? I don't know. That's basically what you want to do in the strategy is take correlation that PrizePicks can't track, right? And with esports, there's a lot of that. And sometimes PrizePicks is tracking it, but they're not tracking it well enough, right? So we're going to talk about that. But first up, this is our best 3-man power slip. And I'll show you guys just to prove my point. If you go ahead and take Jamar Chase right now, well, I got to unclick this. We talked about taking Jamar Chase on the yards versus taking Jamar Chase on the longest reception. We take Jamar Chase on yards. It's a 4x payout. I want to make this so clear, guys. This is a huge difference, right? Jamar Chase on yards and Jamar Chase on longest catch are actually very similar plays because when Jamar Chase has a good game, it's not like he just goes over on receiving yards. He also frequently goes over on his longest reception. And I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about here with the bar graph for the last few, right? He had a major game right here against the Baltimore Ravens, 43 yards on the longest reception, and he also went over for his yards, right? So in this case, we're taking Jay Chase here instead of here, and that's going to give us a 5x payout. Very good. You want to be taking 3-man powers. But for our next play, we're going to go over and leverage some esports plays. Esports is just so good right now, and we really can't stop making money on esports, guys, because it's broken, right? It's simply that good. I mean, here we go. Let me find the plays that I'm talking about, because we're going to Falcons and we're going to G2, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what the odds for this game are on Kalshi. This is a perfect spot to check it. Kalshi is great because it just shows you the public opinion, and literally, like, there's just wisdom of the crowds, right? The wisdom of the crowds will eventually converge to good market value. And in this case, prediction markets like Kalshi are the best place to check what are the people thinking, right? So you got Team Falcons here who are sitting at minus 323, and then you got G2 at plus 239. Falcons are the heavy favorites, right? That's basically what that's saying. And we know that Falcons are the heavy favorites. So what we can do is go ahead and take G2 players on the unders, right? So we're going to go ahead and take Malbs. And we're taking Sampayas right here. Let me see if I can. Here we go. Okay. Malbs and Sampayas. Why are we taking these two guys on the unders together? Because if they have a bad game as a team, it's not going to lead to them getting the overs. This is a very simple counter-strike, right? The team is super correlated together, right? If the team has a good game, they're going to get quite a few kills. If the team has a bad game, they're not going to get very many kills, right? And kills and headshots are basically the same thing, right? Like kills 28, headshots 19. They're just equally as correlated, right? The reason we're taking headshots here is because it actually payout shifts a little bit less sometimes, right? So you could take either one, but I'm taking headshots right here. And this one, we can now go back over to the NFL. And remember what I said. We're not messing around with any random flex plays or two-man powers, or I don't know what the most popular slip types are. I want to say they're probably two-man powers. A lot of people take two-man powers. That's not profitable, right? It's three-man powers and it's four-man powers. That's all we need in order to make money. So we're going to make another three-man power here, and we're going over to my second best NFL play of the day, which is going to be in this game right here. A game that not a lot of people are going to be locked into, and I don't really care because, I mean, I can't really blame you because both of these teams are pretty bad. But you got Minnesota and you got Washington. And if we go over to the receiving yards spot, right? We can check in some of these lines. Justin Jefferson has been doing terrible, but a lot of us we can't blame him, right? Because the quarterback sucks. All these players have been doing pretty bad because their quarterback has been bad, except for Deebo Samuel. The reason why Deebo Samuel doesn't really follow the trend of this other players is because Deebo Samuel is oftentimes not used as much, as heavily as a downfield receiving target threat, right? All the other wide receivers, almost always, that's where they get the 99% of their chunk shares, or, air yards passes, 5 yards plus, right? 10 yards plus. Deebo Samuel is the definition of a gadget player. That's the reason Washington picked him up, and they're going to keep using him as that gadget player. And this is literally one of those weeks, right, where it doesn't really matter for the Commanders, right? They're already out. Honestly, it might be better if they lose this game, right? So what you're going to do when it doesn't really matter out there, you're going to try to get a lot of unique sets in there. You're going to try to see what can I really get away with at the NFL level. So next year, we come in here, we got Deebo. We want to see, we need to make a play. Let's go to him, right? So this is almost a practice run for that next season, right? What am I saying by this? I'm saying that they know how Terry plays. They know how often the defenses are going to react to Terry. They know how defenses are going to react to Ertz. They know how defenses are going to react to Jaden. They know all of these things. But one player that can really get out there in a way that nobody really knows is Deebo Samuel, because coaches love Deebo Samuel. You can use him in so many different ways, and I expect him to go over here for rushing and receiving yards. If you want to take him here, I prefer it, right? You got him at receiving yards, screw that. Take him rushing and receiving yards, 50 yards right here. And this is coming out to a 5.75x. Absolutely beautiful, because usually this is just paying out a 6x if you go to no correlation. We're getting a correlated play. Both of these are high value sharp plays with Sampayas and with Malbs. And Deebo is obviously a great play. We're getting 5.75x here. That's just beautiful, guys. That's just beautiful. And yeah, that's all I got for the video. Those are my 2 3-man powers. I appreciate you for watching. And like I said, subscribe to this channel because we're going to go absolutely clear. Once I drop this strategy, you don't want to miss it.